Hello, everyone. This is another Freedom to Feel conversation, and my guest today is Christine Ruch. She is a holistic transformation guide who helps women with multiple sclerosis reconnect to their body's innate wisdom and healing potential. So, this is my brief introduction to you, as I always do. I usually not so good at reading long bios, so I kind of shorten them. But the full bio will be at the end and also on the video, podcast notes and video. But how would you introduce yourself, Christine, as of this moment? And how did you become this transformation guide? What led you here?
Well, thank you for asking.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
I think that's what I do introduce myself as a holistic transformation guide. It's been a route to get here for sure, but I've been doing it for 20 years, I guess.
Mm,
Insofar as healing my own MS, I've had MS for 20 years since 2006, so not quite 20 years.
right.
And I've always lived having a path of service, and I love service, and I love healing, and I love helping people. And
Mm, mm,
so
yeah.
my passion began like as I was healing myself. I got a degree in holistic nutrition, and then I opened a restaurant, and I had a couple of food
Mm,
brands in Boulder, Colorado, and I just really believed, and I still do believe so firmly in like the power of proper food and proper
yeah.
nourishment to heal our body and to keep our body in its optimal state of wellness. Um,
Right.
and I did that for 10 years and kept growing my business and working really, really hard.
Mm,
Uh, while at the same time, I would help other people, and then I would always bring my food into my, changing my food as my healing changed. Then my food that I offered would change as well. But I
yeah.
was doing everything like externally, like this diet or this tincture, this doctor, this lab or whatever.
Mm,
And
mm,
I wasn't fully connected with my inside. And I thought that I was. Um,
right. Right.
but
Right.
I didn't really
Uh,
recognize that I was super disconnected until my life blew up pretty spectacularly. And
uh,
I
yeah.
realized that I really was getting too far away from how I really wanted to help people. And I'm just so passionate about helping people become their best selves. And I'm so passionate about them connecting to the truth of their ability to heal
Mm,
that
mm,
I also, after 10 years of the restaurant, I just like my job wasn't creative anymore, and I wasn't working one-on-one with people and seeing people directly. I was more like on spreadsheets and on my computer, and
right. Right.
that just wasn't satisfying. And I knew that there was a deeper calling that I had to be of greater service to helping
Mm,
other people. And I really, through my own dark night of the soul and all kinds of
mm,
difficulties, it really was revealed to me that yeah, I have a lot to offer, and I'm pretty intuitive, and
mm.
yeah, I'm just
Yeah.
really passionate about seeing people heal.
Yes. It's beautiful though. I love our conversation prior to the recording because we talked pre kind of off record about these things, and I said something about healing and healers that it's so there's something that resonates true to me when we go through the journey of healing ourselves, and then now we put ourselves in the position of healing others. It feels more authentic and real. There's something about that. So I really appreciate you sharing what you've been through. I know there's a lot more to it, but it's enough about what you said about the body. Just, yeah, in a sense, paraphrasing you, it's almost like breaking down, but it's not really that to me. It's almost like the body, it's so intelligent that's trying to show us in a very realistic way, right? Again, like, look, you're not taking care of me. You're not listening.
But that is such a great segue, because I think that our culture, and I believe that this is we're coming to an end of this, and more people are starting to wake
Mm.
up to this understanding that our body is really talking to us, and it is really
Yes,
not something
yes.
that we need to fix via doctors, or there's something wrong with me, or my body's failing me. and generating fear and all of these other things, but rather taking this time to truly listen deeply and respect your body and actually start to listen to it and take aligned action.
Yes. You see, I love the way you say that too, to respect your body. Isn't that funny? We have lost that wisdom, haven't we? It's an ancient wisdom, and it feels so natural to me. But I have done that too. I have lost touch with the body wisdom too, and got myself in trouble. Just recently, I never had any chronic pain before, but then 2 months ago it started this pain in the lower side of my body, and then it just lasted for about, I'll say, 3 months, and just finally now I was able to resolve it. And that was through a lot of healing, energy healing. You see, I did many things. My diet's always very good. My sleeping, I think, it wasn't that good. So it's your approach. I would love to talk to you about the holistic approach, but also, I mean, mainly for some reason, I'm very interested in this multidimensional guidance that you offer,
Yeah,
covering all levels of being.
yeah,
So I'd love to hear about that some more.
yeah. I'd love to talk about that. I think it kind of came from, like a lot of our way of healing in Western culture is, very linear. And it
Mm,
doesn't really take into
yeah.
account all of the ways in which we heal inside and outside. And it's not always something, it's about your state of mind, it's about your spiritual practices, it's about your relationship to yourself, it's about your relationship to the
Mm,
world, your children,
yeah.
your partner,
Yeah.
your
Yeah.
coworkers, your
Yeah.
community,
Mm,
and uh, so there's so many different things that when they're optimally aligned, then
yeah.
then you create this. The healing happens on its own. And so
Mm,
when you're trying to, like, a lot of times I see women or lots of people who are ill, and so they're trying to do all the right things. And they have the diet and they have all these things that they try to do to force upon themselves to force an outcome. But they hate their job and they're unhappy in their marriage and they're
mm,
stressed about money and all of these other things. And
yes.
so
Yeah. Yeah.
they're not, you don't have resonance. You know what I
Mm,
mean? And so
yes.
I try to get clients to a place, women to a place of like internal resonance so that
Mm,
everything is aligned. And then all of a sudden the body starts responding and then
mm,
healing happens just really naturally. Yeah,
mm,
without even trying, actually. It just, the body wants to heal. It
mm,
really wants to heal, even from, a disease like
mm,
that
mm.
Western society says you can't be healed, like an autoimmune disease.
Right.
So,
Yeah. And I have seen that. I have, gosh, I have so many people that I have talked to here, that I have met in person too, who have healed through this approach of basically they thought they had something, some pillars, right? Like those, some areas of their lives, like the relationship with their spouse, that was fine. The sleeping was good, the food was good, the job was good. But then there was something else that they were not really addressing, and that was their relationship with the world. I love what you said there with our environment. Um, it's really fascinating, Christine, that we a lot of times miss that piece, right, of being in harmony with our environment, the earth, and other people, coming from that a place of love, always, openness. There's something about that that really resonates with me, because I feel every time I have a thought that's not in alignment, kind of I meet I'm very sensitive, so sometimes I meet people who are not in alignment themselves. So they're kind of sending off some energetic resonance that I can pick up. And then the mind automatically will judge them. Oh, this person is not good to be around you. And then when I come home and all, and then I feel like my body's not in harmony. Something's not. It's fascinating how that thought, one small, tiny thought, affected the body. So this is my observation from my own experience, because I'm always very observant and I'm very much into healing and spirituality. So talk to me about this alignment again. I know I would love to start talking about nervous system restoration, and also how do we know when we are dysregulated? So that's another question. But for now, for
Rashad,
now, how? I know, I love that. But before that, how is that possible really to get to this point of full alignment when we are always 100% all the time, 24 hours aligned with, with this wholeness of life that brings us healing and health? I'm wondering.
Yeah, I mean, I think that this goes into kind of like the mindset, right? Um, there's a lifestyle that made you sick, and there's choices that you've been making, and whether it's unprocessed trauma, whether it's childhood things, like there's all kinds of different things that are making you sick. And you can't just approach it with just one thing, like just with diet. And
Right.
while diet is an important aspect of it and it is a pillar, at the same time, it can't be to the exclusion of everything else. And so I would just suggest, how much do you really want to heal? Like, how much are you willing to change in
Right.
order to live
Right.
in the fullness of your health and to live your one life as as beautifully as possible? And I
Yeah.
suggest that we're
Yeah.
all here to live a beautiful life, and that
Yeah.
our bodies are incredible and fully capable of healing. And it's just a matter of mindset and what are you willing to change in your life outside of like your diet. What are you willing to do to, and then so then that is like, do you authentically believe that you can heal, and do you think that you're worthy of feeling, like your whole vibrant self? So
Oh, wow.
I think like
Yeah.
alignment's really important,
Mm.
because it's about frequency and resonance, and whether or not everything is in alignment. Like I just said, like you can't have like the job that you hate or like all these other stressors that you're not aware of, and you don't
Yeah.
appreciate how much they are
Mm.
impacting your health. And so
Mm.
it's like, and it's also a matter of like taking little steps, little by little by little, and
Mm.
incorporating
Mm.
small changes over time that build on each other and become a part of your new way of being.
Mm. Yes, that's another beautiful point about being open to healing yourself. To have actually, I like the way you put that. To experience a beautiful life, to have a beautiful human experience here. So how far are we willing to go? And that's the question. How courageous, we talked about courage off record, right? It's
Yeah,
a quality of the heart.
yeah.
Yes. Is that something that you find with your clients? Do you find that to be a challenge, to
I
people being
kind of
open to all?
do. Yeah, because like I didn't mean to talk over you, but
Yeah.
I think in a lot of ways, like let's just say with multiple sclerosis, but this happens with so many different diseases, and
Yeah.
where we're handing our power to other people to solve our problems. So,
Yes.
especially with women, when we give our
Yeah.
power away
Mm,
to
mm, mm.
physicians and we just trust them blindly without checking in with ourselves,
Right.
and
Right.
then we start doing that over and over and over again, and you kind of lose yourself. You lose your center. You lose like
Mm.
your own courage, because you
Yeah.
think, well, I don't want to.
Mm.
I don't know. I don't
Mm.
want to like go against what my doctor says or something like that. Yeah, and so it starts to get to this like weird mindset that you have, and you don't even realize that you are taking your power away. And then
Right.
when you actually start to come from this inner alignment, I'm not saying you don't go to doctors or
Right.
you don't need tests and things like that, but you're making a decision from within that you know from
Mm.
listening to your body that this is what you need. This is your next step on your healing
Mm.
path.
Mm.
And it's not necessarily this blind acceptance of what the conventional model says healing should be. And so then that comes back to the courage. And that is to have the
Right.
courage to trust
Mm.
yourself,
Mm.
the courage to trust your instincts, the courage to believe, like, I am more than this. I want a life bigger
Mm.
than this.
Mm.
And
Mm.
as soon as you act with courage, the universe will
Yeah.
provide, and
Mm.
will respond in kind. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
and it's
Yeah.
kind of woo woo, maybe sometimes people don't necessarily believe that, but it's true, especially when you look at all the manifestation that's kind of popular right now and
Mm.
all of that. It's really about that courage, and the courage starts from believing that you are worth more, and that you want to take your power back, and you want to
mm,
start
mm,
making decisions from a different place within yourself, not from your
mm.
head, like I must do this because everybody says
Right,
I have to do this, but actually
right.
from this deep inner knowing inside that says, actually, I'm going to take my time to make this decision. And then you trust yourself, and you start like that,
Mm,
and little
mm,
steps to start trusting yourself. And
mm.
I hope that
Yes.
builds courage for people, because it is hard. Courage is just fear in disguise, right?
Ah,
Or fear
yes.
is just courage in disguise, as the case may be. But courage is stepping through fear, you know?
Yes, yes, right. Yeah, that's how I see it. It's not that we eradicate, we eliminate fears, that there's something that it's more, it's worthwhile, that's kind of bigger than fear. That's how I see it. Wait a minute, this is bigger than than giving into fear. So I'll just go forward and directly into the unknown. So we talked about and actually the unknown, the way I feel, it's really the field of simplicity, like you say, going back into to yourself. And a lot of times the truth is we have lost connection with our true self, with ourselves, and that becomes the unknown,
Yeah.
right, Christine, in a way.
And not just unknown, but the scary place.
Yes, right, to
They're too
dive in.
afraid to like look
Oh.
inside. They'd rather look outside of themselves for external validation and external sources of
Hmm.
healing, instead of actually trusting by looking inside, that that's way more powerful than
Right.
outside.
And simple, isn't it? Sounds very simple to me.
So
Going inside. I mean, life became so much more beautiful when I started doing that, having the courage to just explore the unknown within. And then having, like you said beautifully too, it's one step at a time, right, Christine? And then, because we don't want to go all the way, dive all the way too, because that might be too scary for some people and not realistic too. So I love your approach of one step at a time, seeing how far we can go, and almost like, and you see, having a guide. I think that's a very powerful thing. And I believe I saw on your website a quote by Rumi that really spoke to that. That was easier. I don't remember exactly. I wish I had to hear. Do you
yeah,
remember that quote? It's a beautiful
yeah.
quote.
Like I don't even remember it either. So, but like the journey that could take 100 years could, is can be much faster. With I don't even
Yeah,
remember. It's so embarrassing. I don't remember. It's on my website, and it's one of my favorite quotes. Um,
yeah,
but it's really true, because I think, well, I have a two-part answer, if I may.
yeah.
One is with regards to the healing process itself in simplicity. It's really important to recognize that the body heals at its own pace. This
Mm,
isn't something that we force.
mm,
This isn't something that we rush. This isn't
mm.
something that's a linear process, like a weight loss
Right.
plan for 30 days or something like that. So the body heals in its own way. The body heals at the pace of nature. Your nervous system,
Mm-hmm.
your nervous
Right.
system heals at the pace of nature. And so
Mm.
your nervous system heals in its own beautiful way. And if you
I
try,
love I love the
yeah,
way, yeah.
and if you try to force it,
Mhm.
then
Yeah.
it it doesn't work. And so that's the
Right.
reason why it's a
Mm,
challenge to
mm.
get these fast results, because that's not really how the body heals. So if we can create a container where you are learning to respect your body's natural rhythm in the healing process, your
Right.
body will thank you for that, because it doesn't want, especially if you have MS, like it's a disease of the nervous system. And
Yes.
so
Yeah. Mm, mm.
it's like, how do we befriend our nervous system? And so
Ah,
that's one of the other reasons why I choose to be a guide and not a coach. And I don't have a
yes.
program with like milestones. I have a framework.
Right.
And the reason why is because the healing process is driven by every woman individually, and their healing path. All of them could have MS, but all of them are going to heal differently at different rates. Some women are going to want this for a diet that feels the most nourishing for them. Other women are going to
Right.
recognize, wow, environmental toxins are really a trigger. Another woman is going to recognize that she has incredible stress in a job that she hasn't connected with. So
Right.
it's really it's very individual, and it's not something that
Oh,
is
sorry
uh,
about the sweating.
that you can force the process. And I'd rather just work with women for them
I
to
love
come
that.
into their own truth and their own alignment, and then acting from that place and
Mm,
supporting them in
mm,
that
mm,
process of like
mm,
reclaiming like their intuition and their truth and their voice, and having the courage to step in and make these decisions to align themselves, like finding a different job or shifting, their sleep schedule or whatever it is. And then we work with the layers that the woman is at the moment that she's in it. Because like you
right.
and I, we
Right.
both love health and we both love fitness and we both love wellness and love nature, but we're on very different healing paths.
Right.
Our
Right.
lives are very different, right?
Right.
And
Right.
so there's a lot
Yeah.
of similarities, but there's also a lot of differences. And I want to celebrate where a woman is at. And then the last thing I want to share about that as well is I think that it adds more stress. Like a woman with MS doesn't need to have this stressful program. Like, first week we're going to do this, and next month is this, all of that. And it's like, it's already so overwhelming and discouraging and things like that. And I really want to actually create a container that is about
Mm,
the softness that you and I were talking about. And it's about a
mm.
place for like limbic resonance and
Yes.
co-regulation of your nervous system,
Yes.
so that women can
Yes.
start to really soften
Mm,
their own nervous system and learn
mm.
how to work with their nervous system. And the
That's
nervous
correct.
system wants us to go softly, gently,
Mm, mm.
and
Yeah.
slow,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
and then maybe if there's a place where a woman has the space with that, working with me, where all of that is invited and all of that is allowed and all of that is encouraged and all of that is fully supported, and they don't have to be something different. For like a lot of times with
Mm.
chronic illness, you're like, wear a lot of masks, to hide the
Yeah.
pain or to not share
Right.
all the things. You don't want to bother somebody. And then
Right.
when we work with me,
Mm,
it's just this constant feedback and
mm.
I'm constantly present, and I'm
Yeah.
constantly helping you regulate your nervous system and really deepen your healing process. And there is no need to like pretend that you're anything other than what you are
Yeah.
today, you know?
Yeah. What a beautiful invitation to Christine. Just being where you are without any hesitation, right? With not trying to hide. Yeah. I mean, there's just to me something sacred about that, and it goes back to nature again. Like you said, we can, we cannot rush nature, and we are nature. I don't know why we. For some reason, we lost touch with that too, and we think we are something else. But we cannot rush like a tree or a flower, right? To
No,
grow, to
can't
we can't do that.
we can't make spring come quicker. We can't make fall last longer.
Mm,
We have
mm.
to recognize it's just like pregnancy, right? Like you can't
Yeah,
you can't
yeah.
be pregnant less time than the baby wants and your body demands. Like it's just impossible. I mean, for sure
Right.
there's medical interventions, but
Mm,
like it takes as long as it takes.
yeah.
And
Yeah.
if we're in a place of like full allowance for the process to
Mm,
unfold
mm,
naturally, and we witness ourselves and we witness
yeah.
our body and we create the
Yeah.
space of witnessing and allowing,
Mm, mm.
and then suddenly the body unfolds like a flower, and it's really beautiful process.
Yes, and you've been through that, so you know you're speaking from experience, which is so
Yeah,
amazing.
for
Yeah,
sure. I mean, I lived
amazing.
the life that I lived before was like, very like brain heavy, very type
Yeah.
A, worked
Mm,
myself to death. And it was always very
yeah.
forced and forcing this and forcing
Yeah.
that. And
Yeah.
yeah, and now it's like with all of this work in the nervous system, and I think that this is something that's really undervalued and certainly not really taken seriously in the realm of working with multiple sclerosis. It's like that we can on our own go into our nervous system and we can modulate our own nervous system,
Right.
and so that's really powerful when you start listening to your body like that.
Yes, yeah. Thank you, Christine. I really thank you for doing this sacred work. I use the word sacred because it is. It's how I feel about nature. So every time I hear this kind of wisdom from humans, it's like they have, I mean, they're in touch with their own true nature, which goes back to, that acknowledging that we are nature itself too. And then we kind of live a more natural life. So it's funny how that word nature, true self, true nature, nature itself, everything goes back to the flow of living in harmony with what is natural.
Yeah.
Gosh, for me has been always the path of the heart, in a sense of, if there's no love for this body mind here, for others and for the environment, then it's not easy to find peace or to be well. I immediately kind of detect this imbalance within my being. It's kind of so fascinating. So for me has been love. And I guess everything translates back to that in a sense, right? You guiding others, kind of loving yourself enough to make that transition, the investment, the commitment to change and heal yourself. And then all this business that you're running now to help others too. To me, that's love though. I cannot
Yeah.
find another concept to
No, I
kind
mean,
of,
to me, it's
yeah.
like the love and the passion of my life. It's like really what I have always been meant to do. And,
Right, right, right,
I
right.
wasn't, I'm a very good cook and I loved having a restaurant, and
Mhm.
mostly I loved the community and I loved being
Yes.
able to touch so many people's
Yeah.
lives. But
Yeah.
I love this work
Mm.
because I can be far more intimate with women
Mm.
one on one. And
Right.
I'm a projector in human design. I just
Yeah.
really love very deep work, and I do
Mm.
it myself. I've lived it, and I find it really satisfying. And I love to
Mm.
encourage other people that they are capable of everything that I'm capable of. I don't have some secret
Mm.
sauce,
Mm.
but it's
Yeah.
probably a combination of a number of different things. But once I started working with my nervous system, though, everything shifted and everything changed in the most
Mm.
incredible way. I can't even describe it. It's just been amazing.
Right.
So yeah,
Yeah. I can sense that in your words, the way you speak them, the way you express your truth in this work. It's just it's all over you, like you're wearing it. Uh, I have so talk to me about the private mentorship program that you run, which you have been talking about already. It's available on
Mhm,
your website. So
mhm.
Christine
Yep,
Ruch.com. So Ruch is Ruch.
yep.
But also, I had another question for you. Gosh, I forgot what was the question. Yeah, that I want to hear a little bit more about the private mentorship, if it is online, offline, how you work with that.
Mhm.
And also, there's something that caught my attention about that you mentioned. Gosh, this is really fascinating. The energetic vibration of multiple sclerosis. I would love to hear about that too, a bit more.
Yeah. Well, I guess they both kind of tie in together, actually. So this container, and this is the work that I've been doing with mentors, and it's super powerful. And so it is this WhatsApp group that's just between
Okay.
me and you, and we're in constant communication. You're getting constant support from me, constant support, and everything. It's really about witnessing. It brings in a little bit of quantum technology
Mm,
in a way where
okay.
it's really all about
Mm,
witnessing, and the witnessing process is, and witnessing and observing is the it's really underestimated how powerful it is in the healing
mm,
path.
mm,
But then also through this WhatsApp group, and then we meet once a month, we meet twice a month, and then we're in constant communication all the time. And you're
Yeah.
expressing everything, like I like had a horrible day, or like why am I so upset with this person, or like these this diet is
Yeah.
making, or whatever, wherever you are, it doesn't really matter. But what is important is that you are co-regulating with my nervous system. That's how
Mm.
our nervous system works. Like before you and me, I even
Ah,
started talking, we started
yeah,
reading each other's energy. We immediately, like,
that's true.
we locked eyes and
Mm,
we were immediately in
mm,
love. And like
that
that,
is true.
because our nervous system resonated with each other before we even spoke a
Yeah.
word.
Mm,
And this is just how
yeah.
our nervous system operates. Like you
Mm,
walk into a room and you know if people have been arguing, or you know if you're welcome.
yeah.
And that's because
Yeah.
your nervous system is already sensing the vibration of
Mm,
whether or not this is safe. And so
right.
if I
Right.
can create this
Ah,
container, and you and I created together, of this ultimate safety, where there's
yeah.
nothing but safety, softness, full allowance,
Mm,
and then you learn
mm,
to regulate your own nervous system through this process. You learn to observe
right.
what your nervous system needs. And then I'm meeting you constantly wherever you're at,
Right.
and providing
What
support with anything that it is that you're going through, so that you're seen,
mm,
you're heard, you're witnessed. Because a lot of times in the healing path, that's not even allowed. Like you try to tell a doctor whatever, or you try to tell a
mm,
partner or a spouse or a friend, and they don't fully get it or whatever, and you don't sometimes feel fully seen. And
right.
so being in a
Right.
place that's super safe, super
Right.
soft, super gentle, full
Mm,
of love and acceptance,
mm, mm,
you to
mm,
allow.
mm,
And in this process, we
mm,
learn, like, how
yeah.
to build capacity, build
Yeah.
emotional capacity. A lot of us
Mm,
don't have an emotional capacity, or we're not fully aware of the range of the emotions that we feel, or the
that's true.
range of things that impact our nervous system.
Right.
And so in this process, then you're learning slowly to build your own capacity to hold your own emotions. You're learning how it feels when your nervous system is regulated. And then your nervous
Right.
system will constantly be seeking that. And
Mm,
so it's
mm,
this gentle dance
mm,
that we do
mm.
for 9 months.
I love that. I
Gentle
almost want to dance with you. Yeah.
dance that we do for
Yeah.
9 months,
Mm,
where you're just being held, supported, fully
mm,
loved, and fully
mm,
seen. But also, there's a lot of
mm.
guidance. Like I bring in my knowledge about holistic nutrition, or I bring in my knowledge about environmental illness, or I bring in my knowledge of like different diets, or anything that you're interested. Like
Right.
you might be very interested in something different than another woman is interested in. And it doesn't mean that she's
Right.
right and she's wrong or anything like that.
Mm,
They're both right, because
yeah.
if it's coming from within them and they have an authentic interest in it, and they authentically want to explore it, then I help support that and validate that, and then provide them with information that would support that path. And and yeah, and then hopefully over time it builds their own
Yeah.
confidence, so that they can get over
Mm,
those fears, and they have a new
mm,
relationship with themselves, and their nervous system starts to downregulate, and they see the ways in which they keep their own nervous system upregulated,
mm, mm.
and so yeah, it's just a really beautiful, like, yeah, 9 month dance to better health,
Yeah.
and to really
Yeah.
ignite
I
your
don't know if
truth and your healing path.
mm,
Mhm.
yes. It feels like the way you speak, you describe the process like the dance of healing, isn't it? The co-regulation with others,
Yeah.
and then also kind of it's not a linear process. It's where everyone is unique and everybody is unique. So it's kind of honoring that too, uniqueness. I mean, I love it all, and this is that's what I live for, and I know that we cannot use the word guaranteed, but I feel like it is already in the sense guaranteed, because if they fully commit to this dance of healing and with guidance of somebody like you that has done the work, has healed yourself,
Yeah.
then what to expect but success in essence,
Yeah,
right,
for sure.
Christine? That's what it feels to me.
And it's like so great because like I'm not healing you, you're healing you. I'm just
Yeah,
providing the support
yeah,
and the
yeah.
framework to allow your own truth to come out and your own body to respond to your own healing.
Right,
Like, I don't
right.
want to be the one who has all the answers. You already have all the answers. They're already in you.
Mm,
The truth is already
mm,
there. It's just a matter of
mm.
you learning to
Yeah,
connect with it and trust it and then take aligned action. And then
right.
it's just like anything else. Then your body begins to trust you and you begin to trust it. And
Mm,
you're like, and
mm.
all of a sudden, everything starts to change. Like our inner
Ah,
dialogue, like we could have a
mm.
lot of things like, oh, what's wrong with me? Or like, oh, darn it, like my legs are numb again. Or what did I do wrong? And then we berate
Right,
ourselves and we don't realize
right,
like just that, the way that we talk about our, our body's failures in MS is kind of like a self-perpetuating cycle. You know what I mean? Like,
right, right,
your language, what
right,
you say, and how you talk to yourself is really important.
right. Um, yes, God, that's another point that I think a lot of us have not really contemplated. Is that the body needs to trust also, right? The decisions that the mind it's making. So that's another big one for me. Has been kind of some people. I don't know if that relates to it, but some people, some psychologists and therapists that I have interviewed, coaches too, they relate to the inner child, and then sometimes I feel like they're talking about the same thing. The inner child and the body is one. Is that is
Well,
that
I mean,
what it
there's a
is?
lot there's a lot that gets stored in our body that we don't move, we don't process, we don't
Mm,
recognize, we don't value. And
right.
yeah, and our inner child that wasn't seen, our inner child that
Mm,
had
mm,
abuse or or
yeah.
trauma, like that is all there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
How do you meet that?
Ah.
How do you meet those needs? And this process, it's not,
Mm,
there is a lot of like traumatic release,
right.
in
I
this
can see that.
process, things do come up. And what happens
Right.
when you're regulating your nervous system is things still come up that are stuck in your nervous
Right.
system that are keeping you from healing. And we
Right.
work through that too. And so it's just the process. Your body will naturally want to be seen and heard. Old memories will come up, difficult things will happen. So it's not like all roses, but it is really important because it's like healing forever,
Yeah. Yeah.
and
Mm,
to be able to speak and witness. Like I had this incredible somatic response, going through something about my mom that I thought I
yeah.
forgot and I thought that I had fully processed. And then
Right.
through the somatic process, I just was like, wow, like I didn't realize I held on to so much of that, my little girl in me,
Mm,
that wasn't met then,
mm,
you know?
mm. Oh wow! So so everything's connected, right, Christine?
Yeah.
In the by doing, yeah, it's holistic
Yeah.
again. Yeah, it's not just addressing parts of us, but the whole being, the whole person, as people say.
Yeah. The whole being.
Um, and I love that you share too those details about what you've been through too, so people become like if I were to do this work with you, I would be already comfortable with it because you're sharing things that kind of resonates with me too, some things that I've been through and seeing. So when it comes to somatic healing, how do you approach that? What are the techniques? Massage? I'm wondering. Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
curious about that.
Well, so there's a lot of somatic modalities, and they're all have a lot of value, but a lot of them are
Right.
kind of like a one and done, and like you go in from external and tinker, like you're getting a massage or something like that, and
Right.
that is fine. But also, it's another thing. It's like, does the nervous system really act that way or respond that way? Actually, no, it doesn't. Just like nature, like things will come up, and as they come up,
Mm,
then we meet
mm,
them and we process them and we
mm.
witness them. And it's sometimes
Yeah.
it's just the witness and the observer, and your system
Yeah.
knows what to do.
Mm.
As soon as
Right.
you release things, your system knows how to manage that, just like it knows how to
Mm,
breathe and it knows how to give
mm.
birth and it knows how to grieve.
Right.
Your body knows how
Right.
to process it. You just need the right container for it to be
Right.
processed. And a lot of times
Mm.
we stuff things down or we get denied or gaslit or other things like that.
Yes. Yeah.
We don't have the capacity to deal with big emotions, and we don't have the capacity to deal with hurts. And so it's
Yeah.
all kind of tangled
Yeah.
up inside in our nervous system. And so,
Right.
so in this process, as things come up, we go through layers and layers and layers and layers to get to your truth. And so
Right.
sometimes a lot of cool things
Mm.
come up, then that's the trauma release, and it naturally wants to be seen. And that's, I hold the space for that process to witness you and to
Mm.
witness all the things that are asking to be seen and processed. And then your body
Mm.
beautifully will do it. Now, that's not to say it's easy to go through that, to relive the things, but it's not me going in and tinkering you and like saying, let's talk about your childhood. You know, it's
Right.
you. It's
Right.
coming
Yeah.
up for you. And then you're going to call me and be like, oh my God,
Right.
there was this thing
Right.
that happened. And I'll be like, yes,
Mm.
so let's go
Mm.
there, you know? And so I just meet
Mm.
you where you're at, and then the body really responds.
Mm. Gosh, I love it all. What's not to love about it? I always say that because it's true. We are almost at the end. So what I get to my what is coming to me is that as long as we are open, right, Christine, to kind of keep moving, keep dancing through this unfolding, the layers, that's already there in a way. There's no destination, I understand, but
No,
there's a place where we are happy just to be open to what's coming up, right? We are welcoming. We are,
yeah,
isn't that the key? I feel that really strongly about that. I
yeah, this is
really
no
do.
destination, it is a path. And I think that that creates the stress, right? Where you're like this linear program that has results. And if I'm not making these results happen, then I'm failing. And this,
Right.
there's no failing in at all. There's nothing but to fail.
Mm, mm,
You know, you
yeah.
can't fail when it comes to getting to know yourself. It's all process
Mm,
of beautifulness.
oh,
So,
what a beautiful quote.
yeah,
Oh, I
it's
love that.
you fail.
Yes, a quote.
And there is no
Mm,
destination. You only go as
mm,
far as you're willing to go, and that's the destination.
mm.
You get to decide your own
Yes.
destination. It's not my
Yes.
destination. It's your destination.
Uh, yes, you see, and that's also to me, that's a quality of a true healer. Yeah, when they put the power back into the person that they are guiding, right? So it's always you having the power to heal yourself. You have the map. It's not something that you can be the guide, or you can have somebody else as a guide, but in the end, we have to do the work. We have to be willing to have, again, that the openness, the courage, and the willingness, the love, like to just see all parts of us, let them come up, see them,
Yeah,
and yeah, to me that's joy to me. I don't know. I That's why my platform. There's this thing about that I'm creating now, a case for joy. There's something about that, healing, spirituality, getting to know yourself, and then of course how life as a whole works as well, because sometimes we forget about that. So because we all connected, we cannot forget to, in a sense, get to know ourselves and then integrate, go back to the whole and the environment and others, in a way giving back too. So to me that translates into this feeling of joy, which not just a feeling. To me is a way of life, though. It feels like a way
yeah,
of life, and it's
yeah,
not separate from what
absolutely.
you're speaking of. It's basically being open to life, being open to heal ourselves, to get to know ourselves. That's
Yeah,
where joy comes from.
yeah. Be ready for the journey.
So right, because it is, right, Christine? Oh my God, it is a journey. Yeah, yeah. Thank you so much for your beautiful
Thank
presence,
you for
for
inviting me
doing
on your
what you're
show.
doing.
I'm so honored. And
Yeah,
I'm so
thank
honored by
you.
what you do in the world. It's just beautiful.
Oh God, I can't help it. It's almost, I keep saying that because it's true. It's a choice, less choice. We
Yeah,
just,
it's
the
a
more
choice.
I get to know myself, yeah, that's what it
Yeah,
does.
yeah, that's
That's
how
what
I
it
feel about
does.
my work. It's a choiceless choice. I mean, it's my passion, and I just love to empower other women to be their best. So
Yeah. Oh my, and that's love. Yeah, it goes
yeah,
back to the
yeah,
concept of love again.
yeah.
Thank you. So before we say goodbye, Christine, for today, so I want to mention your website again, Christine Ruch, so ruch.com. It will be on the podcast notes, and this episode will be released just between you and I, between 2 and 3 weeks, so it'll be out there. But ending, would you like to end the conversation with something that you left unsaid or anything else, Christine?
I guess I just feel like in this time, that we're living in, it's more important than ever for us to come home to ourselves. And it's more important than ever from us to live
Yeah.
from our heart and to live in our
Mm.
truth.
Yes.
And
Yes. Yes.
there's so much information out there, and I think we're post information, like post knowledge is what I call it. It's like
Right.
post knowledge
Right. Right.
because all of the wisdom that we need is within us, and it's not outside of us. And so I just hope to encourage every woman who wants to heal that they are inspired to live in their fullest, best life and this one and only life that they have.
Yes, how beautiful. Thank you so much
Yeah,
again. Yeah,
thank you.
thank you. I honor that.
Mm.
Yeah, with all my being. I love the way you talk about women too. I know you, so quick questions. Do you only work with women with multiple sclerosis or are you
Yeah, right now, I
expanding?
mean, hopefully, maybe it widens, but right now, yeah, there's so many women that are diagnosed with MS. 70% of all
Mm,
diagnoses are women, and
yeah.
more women are getting diagnosed at a younger and younger age. And the pharmaceutical system is like, they're like a big pharmaceutical bullies. And a woman is like
Mm,
petrified
mm,
and afraid she's going to lose
yeah.
like not be able to walk and
Yeah.
be in a wheelchair and be
Mm,
blind. And so they use that fear to really, they use it against you
uh,
and take away your
yeah.
power.
Mm,
And
mm,
I just think it's such a shame and it's not necessary.
yeah. And that's why you're here. Good. Thank
Um,
you. Yeah. Thank you. Thank
yeah,
you.
thank
Thank you.
you.
Uh, yeah. Okay, Christine, we'll be in touch again. Have a beautiful day where you are, and we'll be in touch again.
Okay,
We'll
thank you.
talk again. I would
Nice
love that.
meeting you. Okay,
Yes, you too. Bye for now. Aloha. Bye.
aloha.